Everybody, it's Cheryl with Silver Sage Studio, and I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about what these cards are once I get the footage rolling. But I wanted to show you my old personal commandment cards and my new personal commandment cards. So I made personal commandment cards about 5 years ago in Lifebook, which is an online mixed media course. I highly recommend it. It's done by Tamara Laporte, and she brings in other artists, and you get to learn all different kinds of skills and all different kinds of styles of doing mixed media art. And that year, one of the artists had us do these cards. She didn't have us put personal commandments on them. I think she was having us put quotes, but I ended up doing my own personal commandments, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I really loved these. They have been super helpful for me. On one side, I have my personal commandment. On the other side, I have a quote. And what I do is every Monday, I pull one of the cards out. I read the quote on the back just as a reminder of something that I thought was important to me at the time that I made these. And then I post this somewhere. So sometimes I'm posting it on a corkboard. Sometimes I'm putting it next to my computer at work, but somewhere that I'm going to see it a lot. And that whole week, I really work on cultivating that concept. In this case, don't take it personally. The beginning of this year, I decided I wanted to redo my personal commandments as well as recreate my cards. And so that's what I'm doing today. So let's get started, and I'll talk a little bit about what personal commandments are. Personal commandments I learned about from Gretchen Rubin. I will link below to her blog post in which she talks about personal commandments. She describes these as overarching principles by which I try to live my life. And on her blog post, she shares her personal commandments. And I would highly recommend that you go check that out. I do want to say, just as a side note here, I am going to be creating these cards on my own personal commandments. So this is a very personal project for me, and I'm kind of putting myself out there by showing you this process and what my commandments are. I think I'm kind of revealing more about myself than I might otherwise normally do, and I hope you'll be kind about that. And I also hope that you'll be inspired to maybe consider writing your own personal commandments and making your own personal commandment cards. So I'm a big believer in making things visible. If you want to cultivate a certain behavior, I think that reminding yourself of that on a regular basis by posting it or somehow making it visible is a great strategy. So whether it's eating healthier or being kinder or laughing more or spending more time with the people that really matter and less time on social media, I think it's always a great idea to make it visible. There's lots of different strategies for this, and I'll try to do some videos on some other strategies I've used. As a side note, if there's really like one thing that you're really interested in cultivating, I like to pick a symbol for that and then maybe buy a necklace or a picture of something that has that symbol in it. So for example, when I wanted to cultivate more honesty in my life and authenticity, I chose the symbol heart, meaning true to my heart. And I had a necklace with a heart on it. And whenever I could sense that I was maybe going down an inauthentic route in my life, I would hold on to that necklace and remind myself of what really matters to me. So these personal commandment cards do just that. Like I said, I post one of them a week and really try to focus on that personal commandment for that week. And I'm just going to read through my personal commandments for you as I'm creating here on my Gelli plate. The first one is don't take it personally. Family first. By the way, I said the first one, but these are in no specific order. Choose joy. Be kind. Be authentic. Laugh often. Be you. Celebrate often. Move. That's a new one for 2020. Love always. Remember wise speech. That's also a new one. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's a new one. And listen more, speak less. Now for my project here, I'm using my Gelli Arts gel plate, but you don't have to have a gel plate to do this. You could sponge paint on, you could just use a paintbrush, you could use the brayer, you could use watercolors, you really could do whatever you want to do. I decided I wanted to use the Gelli plate because I had just gotten it, and so I thought it would be fun to use it. So that's what I'm doing here. My process was to first create a background layer and then to create a second, third, sometimes layer using different colors and stencils. And then you'll see once I'm done with that, I went ahead and moved to just using stencils and sponge and some acrylic paint. So I'm going to let you watch my process. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you consider making your own commandment cards, and that you'll come back next week and see my next video on step 2.